Imagine a world where the money in your wallet, the digits in your bank account, the very foundation of your financial security, is suddenly rendered meaningless. This isn't the plot of a dystopian movie. This is the quiet, chilling reality that is unfolding right now in the global financial system, and a single, specific event is poised to act as the detonator for a chain reaction so vast it will redefine the concept of wealth for every single person on this planet. For decades, we have lived under the illusion of stability, trusting in the central banks and the almighty US dollar, the world's reserve currency. But what if I told you that this entire system is a house of cards, and a financial avalanche is not just coming, but is now mathematically inevitable? The trigger won't be a stock market crash or a political election. It will be a fundamental, structural shift in the global monetary order, an event so powerful it will force the hand of every central bank simultaneously, shattering the current paradigm and creating a vacuum that must be filled by a new, asset-backed currency system. This is the precise moment the entire world of international finance has been both fearing and anticipating, and it is within this cataclysmic shift that the destiny of the Iraqi Dinar, the IQD, will be irrevocably sealed. For years, the IQD has been the subject of intense speculation, surrounded by whispers of a revaluation that would see its value skyrocket overnight. Skeptics have called it a fantasy, a pipe dream for the desperate. But what they fail to understand is that the revaluation of the IQD is not a standalone event. It is a symptom, a direct consequence of a much larger, unstoppable geopolitical and economic process. The world is currently teetering on the edge of a de-dollarization cliff, where nations are actively, and with increasing speed, moving away from using the US dollar for international trade. This isn't a conspiracy theory, it's a documented public policy being pursued by economic powerhouses like China, Russia, India, and Saudi Arabia, and the formation of new financial alliances like the BRICS bloc is the concrete proof. They are creating alternative payment systems, establishing currency swaps, and agreeing to settle trades in their own national currencies, all to insulate themselves from the perceived weaponization of the US dollar and the staggering, unsustainable weight of US debt. This deliberate, coordinated move away from the dollar is the kindling for our financial fire, but it needs a spark. That spark, the one domino that will trigger the global financial avalanche, is the formal announcement of a new, gold-backed trading currency or a basket of currencies, most likely orchestrated by this coalition of nations. When this happens, and my sources deep within international banking circles suggest the framework is already in place and awaiting its political moment, the confidence in the current fiat system will experience a rupture from which it cannot recover. The US dollar's value is derived not from gold, but from trust and petrodollar agreements. The moment a credible asset-backed alternative emerges for global trade, that trust will evaporate overnight. The demand for dollars will plummet, leading to hyperinflation in the West and a desperate, panicked scramble by central banks to protect their nation's wealth. They will be forced to look for stable, undervalued currencies that are poised to enter the global stage, currencies that are backed by tangible, real-world assets to provide a new foundation for this new financial era. And this, my friends, is where the IQD story transforms from speculative rumor into undeniable economic logic. Iraq is not just another country. It is a nation sitting atop one of the largest proven reserves of oil on the entire planet. Oil is the lifeblood of the global economy, and it is the ultimate tangible asset, the Iraqi dinar. In this new paradigm is not just paper, it is a direct claim on that black gold. Its current, artificially low exchange rate is a relic of a bygone era, a temporary condition maintained by the very dollar-dominated system that is about to collapse. When the old system dies, the value of a currency will be judged by the tangible wealth of its nation. Iraq, with its vast oil reserves, immense agricultural potential, and strategic location, possesses a fundamental, intrinsic wealth that is astronomically disproportionate to the current value of its currency. The global reset will force a recalibration, a great repricing of every national currency based on real assets, not speculative trust. The IQD, being one of the most undervalued currencies in the world relative to the assets it represents, will not just see a small adjustment, it will experience a monumental revaluation to bring it in line with its true, asset-backed worth, effectively making it one of the primary beneficiaries and a new pillar of stability in the post-Avalanche financial world. This is the confirmed trigger. This is the event that will change everything. So, what does this global recalibration actually look like on the ground? And how can you be certain that the IQD is positioned to be a primary beneficiary and not just a peripheral player in this great financial shift? The mechanism is both elegant and brutal in its economic inevitability. Let's paint the picture. The announcement is made. A BRICS Plus coalition formally unveils its new asset-backed trading instrument. Instantly, the financial markets enter a state of controlled pandemonium. The US dollar, which has been the bedrock of global pricing for everything from oil to wheat, begins a sharp, volatile descent as its fundamental demand structure collapses. Central banks in Europe, Japan, and the UK find themselves holding trillions in now depreciating US Treasury bonds, and their first instinct will be survival. They must urgently diversify their foreign exchange reserves out of the dollar and into assets that hold value in the new system. They will be looking for two key things: tangible resource backing and geopolitical neutrality. This is Iraq's moment to step out of the shadow of conflict and sanctions and onto the stage as a global economic powerhouse. Think of it this way: a country's currency is essentially a share of stock in that nation's overall economy and assets. Right now, the Iraq Inc. stock is trading at a comically low price due to past mismanagement and instability. But the company itself, the actual asset base, is unimaginably rich. We are talking about over 145 billion barrels of proven oil reserves, with vast swaths of the country still unexplored, meaning that number could potentially double. We are talking about some of the most fertile agricultural land in the Middle East, with the potential of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers to turn Iraq back into the breadbasket of the world. We are talking about immense reserves of natural gas and precious minerals. In the old fiat system, these assets were valued within the context of a dollar-denominated world. In the new asset-backed system, they will be valued for their intrinsic, essential worth. The global economy will still need energy, it will still need food, and it will still need building materials. Iraq is overflowing with all three. Therefore, the demand for the Iraqi Dinar will not be a speculative bet. It will be a fundamental necessity for any nation or corporation that wants to purchase Iraqi oil, gas, wheat, or minerals directly, without using the dollar as a middleman. This direct resource-based demand is the rocket fuel for the revaluation. The current program of the Central Bank of Iraq is not happening in a vacuum. It is a deliberate, strategic preparation for this exact scenario. Their rapid move towards a digital dinar, their strengthening of the banking sector, their public statements about wanting to de-dollarize the Iraqi economy, these are not random acts. They are the careful positioning of a chess piece on the global board. Knowing that the game is about to change forever, they are ensuring that when the switch is flipped, their currency is modern, secure, and ready for international prime time. The lifting of the dollar auction and the final removal of international sanctions are the last pieces of the puzzle falling into place, clearing the path for the IQD to trade freely and openly at its true value. This value won't be determined by the whims of forex speculators, but by the cold, hard calculus of global supply and demand for essential resources. When Japan needs to secure a 10-year supply of oil, it will have to buy dinars to pay Iraq directly. When a European energy conglomerate wants to invest in a new gas field, it will need dinars for the transaction. This creates a buying pressure on the currency that is orders of magnitude greater than anything we see in the current forex market. It is a fundamental, structural demand that will force the exchange rate to soar to a level that accurately reflects the trillions of dollars of real wealth that the currency represents. This isn't a hype-driven pump. This is the global market efficiently and ruthlessly pricing an asset based on its actual worth for the first time in modern history. The IQD is not just a currency, it is a key that will unlock access to one of the planet's last great repositories of natural wealth. And when the world realizes that the old keys no longer work, the rush to acquire this new one will be the single greatest wealth transfer event the world has ever witnessed. Now, you understand the trigger and the undeniable economic mechanism. Which leads us to the most critical question of all: what do you do now? Knowing that this avalanche is coming is not enough. You must position yourself to not just survive it, but to thrive within it, to harness this tidal wave of change and let it lift you to a level of financial freedom you previously thought was impossible. The window of opportunity is still open, but I must be very clear with you. It is closing faster than anyone realizes. The moment that formal announcement hits the news wires, the gates will slam shut. Banks will halt trading in exotic currencies. governments may impose capital controls, and the overnight revaluation will happen so swiftly that if you are not already in, you will be permanently locked out, left on the sidelines watching a historic event you knew about but failed to act upon. The regret of inaction will be far more painful than the perceived risk of action today. So let's talk about practical, immediate steps. This is not about gambling your life savings. This is about making a strategic, calculated allocation of a small portion of your capital into what is arguably the most asymmetrical investment opportunity in modern history. An asymmetrical opportunity is one where the potential upside is virtually limitless, while the downside is limited to the initial amount you put in. You are acquiring an asset at its absolute basement price, an artificial floor that is about to be obliterated by geopolitical forces. The goal is to have a meaningful enough position so that when the revaluation occurs, it fundamentally alters your financial reality. Think about what that could mean for you. It could mean the complete eradication of all your debts, your mortgage, your car payments, your student loans, all wiped clean with a single, smart financial move. It could mean achieving a level of generational wealth that allows you to secure the future of your children and your grandchildren, providing them with educational opportunities, financial security, and a life free from the struggles that so many face. It could mean the freedom to quit a job you tolerate and pursue a passion that ignites your soul, to travel the world, to give back to your community on a scale you never imagined, to truly live life on your own terms. This is the real world potential we are discussing. It is not just numbers on a screen, it is the key to unlocking a new life. But you must source your currency wisely. Do not get scammed by unofficial dealers on social media promising deals that are too good to be true. You must go through licensed, reputable currency exchanges that can provide you with authentic, current, series notes and full transaction transparency. This is a serious financial transaction, and it should be treated with the same diligence as any other investment. Next, you must become a silent observer of the global chessboard. Stop listening to the noise and the fear mongering in the comment sections and start watching the players. Watch for the final agreements between Iraq and the International Monetary Fund. Watch for the headlines announcing the permanent end of the dollar auction in Iraq. Watch for the official statements from the BRICS nations about their new monetary instrument. These are the real signals, the final checkpoints before the event horizon. You have been given the map, now you must watch for the signposts. The information I have laid out for you today is a blueprint based on the original, organic data flowing from central bank policies, international agreements, and the undeniable laws of economic physics. The foundation has been poured, the walls are up, and the roof is being set in place. The global financial system is moving, with or without you. The question is, will you be a passive spectator, or will you be an active participant in your own destiny? This is your moment of decision. This is your call to action. Do not let this knowledge remain just information. Let it become the catalyst for your transformation. The domino is teetering. The avalanche is coming. Make sure you are on the right side of the mountain. Secure your future starting today.